Hi, good day. I'm Shweta, and today I will be presenting a paper titled Changes in Insulin Sensitivity, Secretion, and Glucose Effectiveness During Menstrual Cycle. The paper basically asks the question if menstrual cycle phases has any effect on insulin sensitivity, glucose effectiveness, and acute insulin response to glucose. Now let's look into the background of why this study is important. The relation between menstrual cycle and insulin is unclear. Some studies report an impaired glycemic control during the luteal phase, and some studies say that sex hormones do not affect insulin sensitivity or glucose effectiveness. These inconsistencies could be because of various factors like failure in controlling affecting factors of diet, exercise, family history, and cycle phase, and many more. There are many ways to measure glucose tolerance. This study specifically uses IV glucose tolerance test because other methods like oral glucose tolerance test have poorly reproducible results, and glucose clamp is technically difficult, costly, and also labor intensive. This study uses the minimal method model, which approximates the relationship between plasma insulin and blood glucose. It is comparatively less expensive and provides precise estimations. The test subjects were 12 regularly menstruating non smoking women. Their body weight had been stable for at least 2 months before the study. They lacked family history of hypertension, coronary artery disease, and their body mass index was very average. Other affecting factors were also controlled this time. An intravenous line was placed, and estradiol and progesterone levels were determined 15 minutes after placing the IV and before taking the intravenous glucose tolerance test. 30 minutes later, an injection of glucose was given during 1 minute, followed in 20 minutes by an injection of tolbutamide. And now the blood samples were obtained at timestamps of 0, 2, 4, 8, and so on till 180-minute timestamp. At timestamp 0, a sample was centrifuged for 15 minutes and placed in two separate aliquots, one of which was used to measure serum glucose and the other was used to measure serum insulin. These results were then fitted into the minimal model of glucose kinetics. The mean insulin sensitivity decreased during the luteal phase, while the glucose effectiveness was quite similar in both the phases, as you can see in the graph. And the acute insulin response also increased, but it was also not quite significant. As we know and expected, the mean estradiol and mean progesterone levels increased during the luteal phase of the menstrual cycle as well. When we look closely at the table, we can tell that there is a decrease in sensitivity of insulin in the luteal phase where the levels of estradiol and progesterone were higher. And that is the message we can take home from this paper, that insulin sensitivity decreases when progesterone and estradiol levels are higher, which happens in the luteal phase of the menstrual cycle. But the mechanisms by which these sex steroids affect glucose metabolism are quite unclear yet. That's it. Thank you for your time and your attention. I hope this was enjoyable and informative at the same time. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section below. I'll try my best to answer them. Thank you. Have a nice day.